It's kind of like you have to get a couple of friends to play it instead, because it's just not popular enough, which is sad, you know. Oh well. Well, it looks like a bunch of people dropped already. It looks like three people. Alright, so it looks like Shock is going to be playing as our green Zerg player, and he spawned over here at the 9 o'clock position. Dark green person, guy, bug, creature, thing. His opponent is Mr. Big Moon. I have seen Big Moon before, I forget how good he was. But, well, it looks like he spawned at the 12 o'clock here as our blue Zergy. And, well, there's going to be happily droning away for now. Not much going on, but they are in the close positions here, so I mean, if one of these players goes like a 6, or I guess it'd be like a 7 or 8 by now, but if they do an early pool, the other player could be in a lot of trouble if they get the pool too late. Generally speaking, if someone pulls at like, say 8, you want to have your pool up by like 13. Or, you know, it's like maybe like 5 drones after. Because it takes about like that many drones to get to your base. So you can get ready for it and then have circlings pop out in time. Of course, you need to scout still. I mean, you need to see that it's coming. Otherwise, you're just going to drone through it instead of getting some zerglings out. So what I'd like to do in these close positions is go for a 13 pool. Because, I mean, well, if your opponent's close and they do like 6 pool, then I guess you'd still maybe die. It's kind of hard to say. If you have really good drone micro, you might still survive. It's kind of hard to... Yeah, I think you would survive still. I want to say 13 is pretty good. 12 if you're really worried about it, but 13 is usually alright. Looks like Fresh is going to drop here. Otherwise, I like to do like a hatch first, and that works against any other position. Unless, of course, then they might go Baneling, and the Baneling's kind of hard to deal with, but if you have good micro, you can deal with it and all that good stuff. So, I don't know. I guess I go a very technical play. It really depends on what your opponent's doing, and you really got to have good micro, so it's kind of hard. So, anyways, for now, just Overlord coming out for blue. Overlord coming out for green, and let's see here. Alright, so blue, did he go Extractor Trick? He must have gone Extractor Trick since he has 11 of 10. That's something I'd really recommend. Generally speaking, I like to get just 3, and oh, he's going 11 Overpool. Alright, so this is actually really cool. This is a play that's... Well, I guess you do kind of see it in Zerg against Zerg. It's just not something you want to do against Terran. If you do it against Terran, Terran's going to have a wall off. You're going to die anyways, so I would definitely not recommend this against Terran. First, Protoss, it does work out if you scout and he's in the close position. Then you can maybe get up there and kill off his Zealots. Otherwise, if he tries to fast expand, it's a good way to deal with that. But in Zerg against Zerg, this is just a good way to pull pretty early, get your queen up. And of course, it looks like green here can be pulling pretty early as well. So I believe actually they probably pull around the same. I like doing that because it's like I'm not gonna sit here explain and typing when I'm just talking about it. You know, I just told you. Well, you can do the 11 over pull because it's like a safe way to deal with any kind of cheese. And then you can also get up whatever you want afterwards after you scout them. You know, like right now it looks like Big Moon here is going to be expanding. I just added on, looks like a couple of Zerglings, some Scout Zerglings. It's not something I really recommend. No, because this hatchery is pretty much making it so that he's not getting too many... Well, he could still get out some Zerglings. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd rather just get the speed. Like, personally, I love Zergling speed. I get it against everything. And, well... Green right now, he's not adding on a lot of Zerglings, and, well, you kind of should be. You know, if you overdrone, like, 17's too much. If you overdrone these positions, you just die. And, you know, he's going to be alright just because Blue's not taking advantage of that. but you would die at a very high level. Looks like the spine crawler is going to go up, going to be defending this main for now. Of course, it's not really very useful, just because if green decided to attack with a whole lot of Zerglings, this spine crawler is not going to protect this hatchery. You're going to lose that hatchery, and green's going to go way ahead with that. So I mean, that's 75 minerals that you're losing if you cancel it. So I mean, it is kind of a big deal. And then of course you could still lose your drone, which is another 50 plus the larva. So it is kind of a big deal to lose that hatchery in this matchup. You definitely do not want to lose it. But anyways, yeah, green's going to be adding on that hatchery. Blue's going to be scouting apparently, but that queen is going to be killing that overlord off. Definitely a big blunder. You definitely do not want to lose that overlord. Getting supply blocked in Zerg and Zerg, actually in any matchup as Zerg, is just not fun at all. Not fun in the slightest. Anyways, it looks like blue here coming in here with 4 Zerglings. They do not have the speed, but well, that queen's going to help chase him away. There's no way 4 can take out a queen, especially with another Zergling around there. Oh, he actually catches it off guard, and well, this queen's going to take some extra damage to say the least. Now it looks like green's doing a little bit of anti-micro, actually just backing up to get some Zerglings out. Not a bad idea, I suppose. But more Zerglings are on the way, and it looks like blue's just going to continually pump out some Zerglings, and that's generally what you want to do once you get your hatchery up. Just pump out a ton of Zerglings, and if your opponent decides to build drones, he just loses, And if you win the engagements, then you can drone a little bit, like 1 or 2 drones here and there. But if you overdrone, if you just build on like 4, 5, 6 drones at once, you're just gonna die unless he gets roaches. So I mean, it's kind of like that. That's the way I explain Zerg and Zerg. It looks like blue's actually going to be coming around here for a counterattack while green's trying to go up the middle. Blue definitely has more Zerglings, but at the same time they are still slow. And actually, with the slow speed, it's not going to work out. It's just going to lose them all. Does he have speed on the way? Actually, his speed just started. So I mean, blue here, I feel like he should just not be engaging. It doesn't have enough speed. If you don't have the speed, it's kind of like, okay, you go to his base, and he'll just go to your base, and then he'll just kill you because he has speed. Speed's a lot better at that. And at the same time, they're a lot better at micro and whatnot. So I mean, it's just kind of something you have to really worry about. If you don't have speed, I would not recommend moving out at all, because you can't really come back to your base and expect it to still be there. So with that being said, it looks like this one Zergling's of speed, trying to just poke in there, kill off maybe one drone. Not going to get it. But, well, it looks like Big Moon here is going to be switching over to roaches, and it looks like Shock already getting the roach warren, already getting some roaches up. Now this is, I don't know, I feel like this is totally unsafe. You want to get your roach warren when you have some Zerglings and spine crawlers already, or spine crawlers, I guess I should say. So if you just get just roaches just like that, there's a big window where your opponent can just go in there and kill you. And that's exactly how I play. Like, I play it so that you make a mistake, and you try to get away with more than you can actually get away, you're just gonna die. That's like, I think that's a good way of playing it. Like, just abuse what your opponent does wrong. So I don't know. Either way, it looks like both players just gonna be fine sitting back with roaches. Green now getting that layer with that +1 attack for his roaches and all that good stuff. Let's see what does blue add on, upgrade. No upgrades quite yet, but he is getting layer. I'm not sure if he can afford it yet. Definitely has the gas for something. I mean, he could be spending on upgrades, I guess, but his mineral's pretty low, so I mean, he couldn't really just pull some guys out of gas. But at the same time, in this matchup, if you go pure roach, you can actually spend all your gas with just 2 extractors. I mean, with 4 extractors off 2 bases. But you do have to have enough guys mining from both the mineral patches. So I mean, you gotta think about that. Just having a good balance between them and all that good stuff. And then once you get the layer tech, then you go Spire or you go Infestor, and that's just super gas heavy, so of course you want all 4. So I don't really mind him getting up a whole bunch of gas right now, but he definitely should be worried about his drones mining minerals. You might want a few more on that. So I mean, I'm saying you might want to pull off a couple or maybe build a couple for that. But anyways, Shock here just going to be sitting back with his roaches, and from here on out, it's pretty much just a macro game. At really high levels, it becomes a what can I pick off of my opponent's type match, where like if you have speed Zerglings against roaches, you might be able to just run into his base at certain situations, like send some Zerglings up here to the main, distract the roaches so they all go up there and then attack the natural with a whole bunch more Zerglings. So I mean, it's just a good way to kill off a bunch of drones. I mean, that's something that I think a lot of players can afford to do, but you do kind of have to be really fast. So I guess a lot of players can't really pull that off, but it's kind of tricky, to do that kind of micro. And then, of course, if he has Banes, then it's even harder. So, um, anyways, once again, both players kind of sitting back on their base. Blue now getting that +1 for his Roaches. Infestor Pit going down as well. I do wonder if either player is going to be going Spire. Nope, Infestors for Shock as well. And he's also getting the armor and the +2 attack, so that's actually something you really want to do in Zerg against Zerg. If it becomes a Roach battle, you definitely want the plus upgrades. You want to get those as soon as possible, as soon as you think you can really afford to. You know, you don't want to get it like super fast because otherwise you're just going to be sacrificing units for it. But you know, as soon as you can get the plus upgrade and then get the +2 for your Roaches, because each attack upgrades the Roach attack by 2. You multiply that by all these Roaches, that is a ton of damage. Apparently there was a changeling somewhere that was killed off. But I believe both players is kind of equal right now. Actually, Green's a bit ahead, definitely with that +1 as well. But Blue is taking that expansion at the middle position here. Now this is kind of a, I don't know, I feel like it's a risky move to put it here. I would have definitely put it at the gold instead, just because his creep is out there. You know, he has better vision of it. And he's going to be able to defend it much easier as well. So, I mean, for example, like if Green puts Roaches here, it's going to be a little bit hard to move up the ramp without taking some extra damage there, you know. So up here, however, you know, you do have all this space here. You can see it coming. You can, you know, I don't know. There's just a little bit more buffer zone between you and him. So I mean, that's the real difference, I suppose. But yeah, both players just kind of sitting here, chillaxing. Let's see. Well, we're getting the pathogen glands for Blue. I believe Green probably already got it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but he does have a couple of infestors out here with his Roaches. And there's a good fungal growth, and another semi-good fungal growth. And Green is definitely going to be swinging ahead here just because he has those infestors out sooner. And he has a +1 attack, +1 armor, and it looks like he timed it out with his armor. Not a bad call, but Moon probably going to be losing the game here. Now he just got the +2 attack, so I mean that's even bigger. Now of course Blue does have somewhat an advantage being the defender. The Roaches pop out and they're instantly in the battlefield. Here comes the Infestors. The Infestors do have the pathogen glands, so Blue is swinging ahead right now. Looks like Green just not adding on Larva, not adding on any Roaches, and Blue is definitely going to be winning this if he continues to add on guys. I mean, in any kind of mirror matchup, it becomes a macro fest. You know, if somebody doesn't macro properly, they're the ones that are probably going to be losing. Unless you have like a huge superior tech force or economy or something like that, you know, you really got to be careful with how you macro. So right now it looks like Big Moon just adding on some more Roaches, so he's actually doing it pretty well. Looks like he lost the Queen, he forgot to rebuild. However, there is a small counterattack in the fronts here at that third position. Once again, he doesn't have vision of, you know, the way, you know, down here, so I mean it's really easy for Green to just come in there and attack without Blue knowing about it. You know, he could lose, you know, he lost that spine card, could have lost a couple of drones there, and, well, I mean, it's just not quite as safe. Meanwhile, Green expanding at the bottom here, I totally missed that somehow, but, I don't know, I don't feel like that's all that safe either, just because he doesn't have, well, I guess he does have vision of stuff over here, so, I mean, but then again, you know, Blue would probably be attacking down this lane, which means that Speed Zerglings could really get in there, abuse that, kill off that hatchery if you ever found it, so, I mean, scouting, of course, very key. High-level players, of course, are going to be checking around the map, you know, hiding overlords around, you know, different areas. It's good to have overlords pretty much everywhere on the map. And if you lose them, then it's like, okay, at least I, you know, knew that he wasn't expanding at the time. But I mean, he really could be, you know, then you can add on some overlord speed or something like that, and just be perfectly fine with that. So I don't know, it's kind of risky either way, or at least just have overlords stationed at the, expansions down there. Good old water. Alright, so Blue coming in here, does, well, it really comes down to the Infestors. If you split up your Roaches super well, you can actually, you know, that it really comes down to that, like who splits them up better, who has the better upgrades. Green now, right now, of course, has the better upgrades. It's 2 armor, 2 attack to 2 attack, or 2-1 attack, and well, Blue's going to be losing all that, but, well, he does have Burrow. We'll see if Green, yep, there's the Overseer, going to be popping out soon. Now it looks like Green does not have queens over there. What happened to his queens? Apparently they were in battle and died or something. But Blue, he really needs to macro up, get a whole lot of Roaches out, and, you know, drone up as much as he can, but without dying, because Green right now was able to do that more easily. You know, even with that macro hatch is going to help quite a bit as well. now that it is finished. Looks like a couple of drones just gonna be chilling out